So the AI likes to play this little keep away game, backs off, you try to go up and get that parry, and then you end up just taking this block damage. I mean, mainly because the AI is pausing before they attack, so this throws the whole thing off. We talked about that in the reparry video. So what do? We try to mitigate that damage by trying to avoid that contact, and the AI knows this very well. And the proficiency at which they read your moves and react puts you in a pretty bad position because you end up getting this homing dash that follows you, goes a little farther than a normal dash, but then it ends up hitting you at the end of your dash. And by the time you realize that it's happening, you can't even really block it or do another dash back to get out of it. The good news is, you can do it too. Yay! Take a lesson, learn it all. So like I said earlier, you want to try to make that space because you want to keep at least this much distance. You don't want to close it in and then back off. But she did get in, she read my moves, and when I backed off, she dashed in as well and met me at the end of my dash, which then got me hit. And this is happening more and more as you play the game. Now, the reason why this is happening is because they can read your moves and be able to react instantly. So how can you possibly do the same? I mean, you'd probably have to know the AI is going to do something before it does it, so maybe you'd use some kind of a pattern. Right. Alright, so Heimdall dashed in, dashed back, and he dashes in and dashes back. So what do you think he's about to do right now? I'm going to go with dashing back, which he does, and we were able to capitalize on that. Now this move is called dash checking, because each time you dash you want to see what the AI is going to do, because this isn't a guarantee. Depending on what kind of AI profile you have, they might try to switch it up, but as long as they are exhibiting that pattern, you can take advantage of it. Now the key to that dash check is to get as deep a dex as possible. So dexing at the very last moment to create as much space as possible to encourage them to dash back and not continue the attack. That being said, that is just how you start. You may need to adjust, as you can see here with Yondu. I'm going for deep dexes, but they weren't working. It's not compatible with how far Rhino dashes back. So I had to make some adjustments and go a little more shallow. This way I'm in closer proximity to Rhino, so I have a better chance of catching him at the end of his dash. But as you can see here, when I go back to getting a deeper dex, I can't get there in time and I get countered. So here are a few more examples, and I'm going to be able to take advantage on that dash back. Same thing over here. I did a dash check, made sure he was exhibiting the pattern, and then I pounced on him and got the reverse intercept. Now the more you do this, the better you get at recognizing it. So I'm finishing up this SP2 here with Black Panther up against Moon Knight, and I don't have an opening there, so I'm going to try to get one. There's one. He kind of staggers on that next one, but he exhibits that lift off right on the foot, and I was able to jump on it. Now the AI has its own tricks, it can adapt. So when you try to do this, try not to go too early. If you go too early, it'll just sidestep you and return attack. Or you'll just catch a heel kick to the face. Or they'll just block it. Now if you go too late, you're giving the AI time to recover, and they can do a number of things like sidestep or continue to dash out of the way. So it's important not to mash your inputs here, because you need to be ready in the event that your hit is not a confirmation. You also don't want to do this when the opponent is loaded with a special attack. As you saw here, I very much waited to see what they would do, because definitely if you go in, they're launching it. Don't believe me? See for yourself. Now, like I said, this isn't a guarantee, but it does help to understand the reach and the dash capabilities of the champions you're using and the ones you're going against. Now, there are certain body types that just aren't compatible with each other. As you can see, Green Goblin is just too far out from my dash back. And Vision's medium dash isn't really an invasive medium. He kind of has that step back before the attack lands. So that's putting me at a disadvantage with a champion that has such a deep pushback from their medium. Now this is another odd matchup where Silver Surfer's dash is really far and Colossus has a stop short medium on his dash. So there's a lot of distance there, so I'm having a little bit of trouble locking it down, so I'm gonna have to move off of the deep dex and go for a more regular dex. As you can see, I'm adjusting each time, so this one is a little shorter and I was able to get it. And just like everything else in this game, it's all about practice and recognizing patterns and just building that muscle memory. Now the cautionary tale here is champions with double mediums, because you can't really get the kind of space that you need in order to force them back because they're so imposing. So just keep an eye out for that. Now it's really important to practice this with champions that you use often so you know who they work with. As you can see there, I ended up getting parried. So when going up against content that has access to masteries like war or doing duels or something along that line, you just want to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row and know what you're dealing with. That being said, Rhino is the kind of champion that you can't intercept, so this does come in handy if you know how to position yourself to take advantage. As you can see here, I'm giving it a try, I find the right formula right here, and bam, I was able to do it, and I'm able to go back and do it a second time, make sure I've got the right spacing, and there we go. To reiterate that not all champion types are compatible, as you can see here, Magic stops a little short because she has that leg up animation, and Rhino has a really far dash back, and he was able to intercept my dash in. So as you can see, the leg goes up, I stop short, and that gives him all the space that he needs to do the counter. So again, it's all about practice so that you know these situations when they come about. Now this isn't meant to be a replacement for your other techniques. This is just another tool in the tool belt or in the toolbox for you to use whenever you're stuck in a pinch. If you're up against someone stun immune or you're down to 1% health and you just cannot take another hit, this might give you an opening. Hi, and thanks for watching. Not trying to stretch out the video or anything. We only really need to make it to 8 minutes anyway. That's not the purpose of this. I'm just trying to test a theory. If I open up a crystal after making a tutorial, does that get me a 6-star? That's the whole test right here. That's the whole thing. The whole thing. So, this is just a way to thank you for watching, to give you something a little more entertaining towards the end. I don't know. I hope you liked the tutorial. And if you did, well, go ahead and click subscribe, click like, leave a comment, share it with your friends, and share it with your mothers. If you have more than one, then share it with them too. What did we get? Did the theory work? Cosmic Ghost Rider? No, it didn't work at all. Learn a little something, take a lesson, learn it all.